Alright, I turned on the live feed, so we're live. And I'm gonna...
Oh no.
Yeah, Zimbo's not in game tonight, everybody. He's...
Okay, then I'll keep my mouth shut.
Oh no.
Dead.
LOL.
I'm dead. Yeah,
Alright, so this is
I'm
episode...
hanging out in the coffin right now.
Giraffe murder? What?
Yes.
What? CSI giraffes.
Oh, Zenbo. So we
What?
found Big Lasagna, who is a Lala, and what is it? Mini Ravioli, who is also a giraffe. They also exist somewhere else.
What?
Yeah.
So this is episode 11. 11. Wow, we've done 11 of these already? And...
I'm sure we've done more of them, but...
Oh, like, counting the ones we did way back when, there's like 15, but...
Well, Super, your chat is showing.
My chat is showing? What? No, it's not. Don't do that!
The top part.
Yes, it is.
What?
The top part of your chat is showing.
So I should spam him with curse words now.
No. There, it's fixed.
Okay.
So, we have almost a full house tonight. We're missing Ophi. So we got Zinvo.
I'm just in the storage shed, and also hello.
Paldor.
Hello.
Kai.
Hi-oh.
Astrid.
Hello.
Philo.
Please bow to your overlord.
And we got Zeeg from Monster Aid Gaming for the first time.
Good evening.
So, this week, yeah, welcome Nenbert. We're talking about the extreme trials, the design of the fights, and difficulties in clearing them. So I wanted this... Kai, that's a fucking lie! And what we thought, execution, if the fight was any good, or like if the fight was shitty.
Only if you're not trying to pop a blood vessel in your eye.
Every time you guys say that, I cringe and have flashbacks.
The PTSD is real.
Dude, screwing up my eye was not good.
No, it scared me. Because I was like, oh shit, you're the one-eyed black mage now, Super.
That wasn't my fault.
With his 600 DPS.
Even Eos can't heal your eye.
Hey Supa, how triggered are you now that nowadays you can't have EOS accidentally take a tank buster for you in Sophia X?
I am tilted, very tilted. I cry at night. Every night when I go to sleep, I just have this picture of Eos next to my bed. I just pull it out and I gently stroke it, and I just look at her and say, "One day we'll be together again."
Oh my god!
The shadow.
It's literally the Wolverine me.
Yep. So, what'd you guys overall, real quick, before we really get into either one of them? What'd you guys think of the fights? Like, were they good?
They were good. I love them.
Yeah, they were really good content to I guess kickstart the expansion. Well, end game expansion.
Here's a good general question too before we get started. Do you guys, because I saw a few threads about this on the forums, they only still drop the same amount of like loot that they've been dropping for the last 2 expansions, and there's a lot of different jobs in the game now. Do you guys think that's still okay? Because 1 weapon drop seems kind of at this point.
Well, I think it's alright just because it gives reason for people to keep running endgame content rather than if like 2 weapons dropped. It's like, oh, well, I got my weapon, or I got all my weapons. I have no need to run this anymore.
Yeah, like I got my weapon on like the second, third run. So, and then I saw it 3 more times in a row right after that. So.
I think it's a two-way street, really, because I was actually just saying this earlier. I don't feel like dead inside, having farmed Titania already like 25 times. So I think they did a good job designing the fight to where it's farmable, and you don't really want to, commit Anhero if you have to run it ad infinitum. But at the same time, there are a couple of things that I think the accessories are fine. 4 accessories at once is extreme, and I love it. But
I was really surprised with 4. I was like, wait, what?
yeah, it's a lot of accessories.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did Lakshmi?
I
drop
thought
that
Lakshmi
many?
dropped
No.
4, or was it
She
2?
dropped 2.
I think it was 2.
Yeah, she dropped.
Yeah, I think
two.
it dropped
All right, my memory is
Yeah.
flawed. Then.
But with regards to the weapons, I think that actually, I think it should be boosted to 2, only because 1, yes, the number of jobs in the game is increasing, and 2, primals are a very, very lucrative source of desynthesis leveling, and they keep making new desynth levels, but they don't. So I gotta think they have some kind of plan for it, albeit big or small. And I know a couple people who really struggle with leveling like blacksmith desynthesis or carpenter or alchemist, and that's pretty much where you go as a BSM or alch or carpenter desynth. You go to the primals, and rolling and losing and having to save 10 tokens for just 1 attempt at desynth is kind of annoying.
That's true.
That's true.
I don't.
One thing, I don't know if this would be a terrible idea, but one thing that would be interesting to implement is, say you have a fixed party, you have your set of people or whatever, everyone's trying to get their weapon. Okay, so you have your party and it's set to, like, you have your roles or whatever, and it's guaranteed that one person will get that item, and if that item is claimed by someone else, the odds of the other people getting the weapon that they need is increased. So basically, if I didn't get my weapon the 7th time around, I'm guaranteed to get it the 8th time. If I'm
So
running
we're
with the same
introducing-
exact party.
So we're introducing DKP again, Zimbo?
Oh,
No, I'm not saying that.
No.
No.
Minus
I'm
50
kidding.
DKP.
I'm kidding.
A cool idea would be if it started to reflect Savage a little more, where it would be a random drop and a coffer.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Or one thing that they could do too is like increase the amount of tokens you get per run as well. I don't know.
Well, my experience last night with the party finder, which is always a nightmare, always. I had better luck in the quote-unquote clear parties than the farm parties, because at least I could solo heal if the other healer was shitty in Titania on White Mage. And I think I helped 4 or 5 parties clear last night and got some stuff, but I still don't understand why people can't understand. It's the same damn thing every single time.
It's a shout-outs to White Mage for being ridiculously overpowered this expansion, by the way. And
I know at least one person who, when told that they do more damage than tanks as a White Mage, they just say, "Oh, just buff tanks."
LOL.
Oh my god.
And meanwhile, the ninjas and the dancers in the world are crying because the tanks are getting that much closer, reducing the margin.
But I think Dancer gets kind of a pass though, to a degree, because you guys just buff everyone else's damage. Same goes for Ninja because of Trick, but
It's not that much. People on balance were talking about it, and it's about like 1k ish, if that.
It's about a 1k personal DPS buff having a dancer on your as your partner. The tactical step or whatever the party-wide AoE is, that's it's decent. It's not nearly as nice as people make it out to be.
yeah. Still though,
Yeah, so
you're still just constantly buffing someone else's DPS, and Devilment also is a thing too.
Oh yeah, Devilman is a monk's best friend. What's that? More crit? Okay.
So we're getting a little off topic, so let's move back to where we're supposed to be. You guys want to do Titania or Innocence first?
Let's do Fat Man.
Fat Man?
Yeah, let's do fat.
We'll talk about Wilford Brimley.
Oh god, he's hot!
Hey, Mentronic and Ember. So Innocence
I'll be right back,
Extreme.
1 second.
Okay.
I mean, I'm moving my character, but I'll still be here.
When do they
How
turn
dare
White
you.
Mage into a DPS class? They already did. It's done.
Yep.
Whiteman's always been a DPS class. But now it's just like real.
In the
So
past, it was just a tale, but now it's real.
Now they're actually a DPS class.
Innocence EX. It's I don't know. I was pleasantly surprised with the amount of difficulty they threw at us with a fight with that much AoE. Cause I was just expecting like, oh no, Susano. It's just a Susano copy. There's gonna be some scary hitting moves that I just have to mitigate, and some mechanics I can memorize real quick. That
You
doesn't.
can't mitigate at all.
You can't mitigate Innocence at all.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
A lot of the AoE is avoidable though if you know what you're doing. If you have one brain
It
cell.
is, but because we don't have Tombstones of Phantasmagoria or the Eden gear yet, so doing it right now is basically doing it with like min eye level. So if like I know you can't survive the alt move after the DPS check with like two vuln stacks or even one sometimes if you haven't eaten food.
Oh, I can now, Supa. Item level 444 can without food.
With 2 stacks of vuln though?
Well, just one.
Okay,
Just one.
just one. Emliker says, we just need Penta Strike now. Oh no.
Yes, we do.
Oh god.
I like Innocence as a fight. I don't like it nearly as much as Titania, but Innocence, any other melees in the room will understand my plight where I just don't... I'm a greedy little bitch when it comes to DPS, and I hate when I have downtime. And the fight definitely enforces a fair deal of downtime if your party doesn't play to your needs.
Oh yeah.
Like, in particular...
yeah, I could understand that.
If you like
the star birth
Yeah.
where there's like 2 stars diagonal from each other in the arena and 2 people at a time get marked with those big AoEs. Like if you're either threading the needle trying to keep uptime while not touching anything, or you disengage entirely and go to the edge of the room.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've run into a few tanks so far who will not pull Innocence in time, and they'll just leave them there in the middle of the room, and if we have melee DPS, so like, well, I guess I'm not doing anything, I guess.
Yeah. And the only other actual issue I have with the fight, and it's not it's a non-issue. It's just me being butthurt because I'm a melee.
Oh yeah.
It's the the mechanic where those blue sword lines will appear, and then they'll do their double
It comes
later.
back. Yeah.
So that's fine. The mechanic in itself is fine, but it's the added mechanic of the red telegraphs that
God Ray.
the God rays that will happen in addition, because I'll be like, okay, I avoided the God ray and I found a safe spot that will be safe later, but the God ray is completely random, so my now later safe spot is no longer safe, and I have to like do 4D chess to think about where I'm going to be going if I want to avoid everything, or I can just be safe and back up to the edge of the room, which I don't want that. I'm gonna go for the biscuit and probably get hit.
I've never thought about that. I've never thought about backing up. I'm always like, I'm gonna thread this needle as close as I can. Mostly because if someone gets hit, I usually pop Indom or Fey Blessing. But I never thought about backing up. That's a good idea.
The thing about it though in there with as white mage in there, because that's what I did Innocence first and then Titania later in the evening. As a white mage during that phase, I have to make sure I have all those instant heals ready, because unless we get lucky with the RNG, I'm gonna have to heal at least 3 people. At least, and usually melee, and it's not anything to do with the skill of that person. It's just RNG is an asshole, and I'm gonna have to instant heal you plus run and do all that stuff myself. So let's keep all those lilies for this moment.
Let me just catch up on chat here real quick. Jonathan says, I saw a VOD of a group sending the sword tethers to the north of the boss with a take stand so the melee can keep up time. That's not a bad idea. Lord Trek says hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Lord Trex.
Jonathan also says people get really creative with their uptime in this fight.
Have you guys seen the JP uptime strat for the sword tethers?
I have not. What is it?
No.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find it really quick. If I can't find it in like 20 seconds, I'm just gonna regale you with it instead.
Well, while he's doing that, I'm gonna add a side note. I've never done really any end game content for like new expansions. Like this is the first time I've ever like gone into an EX right after the expansion drop. But I mean, I love the fights. But as a machinist, like I don't see the full picture compared to say a healer or tank or melee DPS.
God damn it, that robot scares me to death. Every time I'm like, that person in the middle of the field can die.
Okay, I can't find this, so I'm just gonna tell you. The way they've done it in this JP video I saw on Twitter was, if the two swords are far enough apart, what they'll do is they'll drag the two tethers diagonally through the boss to max melee range, and just step in or like around to the boss's flanks when the tether is actually set. And I think it's like the most brilliant thing ever.
Huh.
It's such a big brain strat because like doing it is.
That's
I'm
some
fairly
geometry
certain.
shit right there.
Yeah, that's real 4D chess if I've ever seen it.
Mr. Happy and Ms. Tech strat vids on Suicide Watch.
LOL.
That's actually a really great idea, though. I can see how that would work out so much better. Yeah.
Hey, Lord Trek, thanks for subbing. Let me just grab chat here real quick again. Lord Trek also says, tell Astrid I said hi and send her a hug. Oh, okay. Omne says, I try and rescue the robot all the time.
What, the machinist
The
robot?
machinist robot, because it shows up on the mini map as a blue dot, so a lot of healers think it's a player and they're in danger.
I like screamed 3 times last night for that fucking robot. God damn it! Where's rescue? Oh, it's the robot. Fuck you, robot.
Leave Wally alone.
And thank you for the hug, by the way. Thank you.
Jonathan says that's the strat he was talking about, and the big brain JP players. Yep, that's correct. That's awesome. Hi, Pearl. Let's see. So, as a healer in Innocence, it's pretty easy to heal Innocence, honestly. The only problem is if people start dying, it's impossible to recover in certain portions of the fight. Because there's Beatific Vision doesn't follow res immunity rules all the time, and neither does God Ray. So you just have people dying again and again and again and again because they keep trying to get back up, but they can't. I guess I'm fine with it, honestly, because res immunity, let's be honest, we all abuse res immunity. We just stand there for a solid... Because I read it once.
Oh.
I read up on it once. Res immunity lasts for a solid like 5 to 6 seconds if you just don't move, and we've all abused it. I know we have.
Yeah, it's like a whole server tick or two.
Yeah.
So
It's really fucking nice.
it kind of forces everybody to be a little more, thoughtful when they're rezzing, but you can still kind of cheese it if you know when to res. Where are you?
Unless you're black mage.
I really want to hear what you have to say about what you did in the fight, honestly, because black mages have it like the worst in there. Where are you talking? We are in Ilmeg right now. We're talking on the fountain. Omne says, I swift cast res or you don't get a res because you can't stand still long enough in that fight. So Omne just says they don't hard res, period, which, I mean, that's in that fight. I don't blame you. And Lord Trek also says, Astrid, when you come back, can you walk me through some dungeons? That's up to Astrid.
Maybe.
The only other thing with healing in that fight is the tank busters, but they're honestly not scary if your tanks know what they're doing. Especially on Scholar, you just throw Excog up or Resuscitation and Adlo, and you're basically golden. No problem
The
at all.
tanks can literally pop all their defensive cooldowns because they have the tank swap, so.
Or I'll just pop out my wings and make you sad, Supa.
You're making me sad. Those wings.
What's the CD on Resuscitation?
It's only 40. I think it's 45. It's either 45 or 60, I believe, because it's 90. Okay, Yeah, because its cooldown doesn't match up with Xcog. So, Recitations is honestly up every tank buster, I think. Isn't it? Because his tank busters are pretty few and far between.
They're not
Yeah,
that bad. They're
And the
not that
fact that
bad.
you got the tank swap means that you don't really need to have a defined cooldown.
What's
rotation.
scarier than his tank busters is the ad phase. Because when the ads use Holy Sword, I forget that those ads are actually a threat. And the tanks sometimes kick the bucket because I forgot.
That's a
the old...
scholar issue, Sipa. As a white mage, if I throw out
See, you're hurting my feelings
Etiquette
again.
I'm just
I'm
discussing
kidding.
I'm discussing the way the class works. But if I
I'm
do
kidding.
Regen and Medica 2, and then I do Confession, and then once that first AoE goes off from the first ad, the tanks are fine usually through the entire fight unless they're not using cooldowns. I don't have to do anything else
Yeah.
unless they're just bad. Or if they're a gunblade, and I'm sorry if people like gunblades, but they're a little squishy. Just a little.
Super
It's 'cause
Bull,
Gunblade's a fucking off tank. It's meant to DPS.
Yeah.
it does have higher DPS overall. The
Like I had someone in Titania last night who was main tanking on the gunblade, and through the triple tank buster, I realized that you're going all the way down to one hit point, but it just gave me a heart attack every time because I'm like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen if I don't have benediction ready? You're just gonna die. I'm sorry.
it is a little side note. We had a samurai in our farm party last night who wouldn't use the LB. He
Oh my goodness.
would intentionally not hit the boss and just do the mechanics, and then he wouldn't res for a little while. And I was like, what is wrong with this samurai?
And I had DPS'd him.
Oh yeah, Kai out DPS'd him on Dancer. Which
What?
Yeah,
Yep.
Kai out DPS'd him on Dancer, the samurai. So hard.
Listen, bruh. What? No, that's not how this works. You're a privileged little glass cannon of a melee. You should be doing all the damage or switch to something else.
He should go play a tank.
Please no, tanks already have a bad
No.
rap.
Please. When I logged on this morning, I do experts because that wakes me up. And I was on White Mage, and I'm like, yes, it's gonna be easy. I got the wings, we'll be fine. Gunblade, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm fucked. He died 3 times because A, he didn't know what a global cooldown was. B, he didn't use his defensives, and C, he was pulling wall to wall with no defensives. And I might be a god, but I'm not like that kind of god where I can just instantaneously keep you alive forever.
There's a little after topic I want to work into this after we're all done that kind of encompasses that, but we'll get to that. So Black Mage, let's talk about the roles in there real quick. I kind of talked about healer. Paldor, I think you're the only tank in here right now. How's tanking that fight?
It's pretty easy, honestly. Like I was talking about earlier, you don't really need a defensive rotation for his tank busters. Only scary part is the ads where you kind of do need a good rotation. And I haven't even seen like the 3rd tank buster the ads do, but that scares me to death because I have no defensive cooldowns at that point.
It takes 75% of your health away and scares the healers to death.
Yeah, at that point, if I'm not topped off, it'll kill me. So
I figure at that point, if that ad is not dead, we're not gonna make it anyway.
yeah, no, it's fun. It's definitely easier than doing on Sam, which is a nightmare to keep your uptime. But I try to find my way. There's 2 people in here now.
Okay, we kind of already talked about. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, it's just nothing else really.
Okay, we kind of already talked about melees too, and how it's kind of a bitch. Is there anything the melees want to add real fast, or
For specifically Innocence?
yeah, just any other things you want to add about it?
No, after the little gripes I expressed, the fight's fairly friendly.
Okay, and then what about the ranged DPS? Zinvo Kai. You guys have it like super easy in there.
So easy.
It is. It's fun to just fucking run and gun the entire time.
At the answer, I get to cheat with an Avant for the beatific vision. Everything lines up perfectly. It's just very easy to be a ranged DPS there.
And I just have sprint.
Your robot can
I
scare
enjoy the fight. The robot can, yeah, that's true. No, I enjoy the fight. It's a lot of fun.
It's a very good fight.
Okay, so here's the fun one. Casters. Philo. Astrid.
Dude, Summoner is so everything, like the actual thing that doesn't line up throughout the fight is, I would say, probably Bahamut. Because he always comes out when the fucking sword tethers have to get lucky to not get a tether. But other than that, it's like, it's pretty easy.
And Black Mage.
So
No,
after
more spell
our first of all, for Black Mage right now, unless you want to be incredibly slow, you can't meld max crit. I did that, and I couldn't move at all. Even though my DPS was amazing, I couldn't. Even in experts, I couldn't move. In Innocence, it was even worse. It also took me, not only with our group, but purposely going into Party Finder to find bad parties so I could learn where to stand. Because with Black Mage, for almost every fight, it's pretty much the same memory pattern over and over. Okay, this is happening, I go here. This is happening, I go here. And until you get that pattern down of where you can stand and use somebody's body, Supa, or put ley lines down and back, go back to your ley lines to get out of whatever danger is coming, it's hard. And then I kind of was laughing at that Black Mage that was only giving out 6k DPS, but saying that the healer me needed to DPS more because they couldn't keep their uptime up. But that was my DPS when they first started, and I don't think they knew you gotta learn it first, and you gotta take some time as a Black Mage. Not necessarily all casters, but specifically Black Mage. You have to learn the dance, and if you don't know the dance, you're just gonna be on the floor.
Yeah. Healers, I already kind of talked about it. It's easy, as long as everybody knows what they're doing. Also, my body is not for use. Thank you.
I macro it, so I know exactly where you are, so I don't even have to click on you.
At
Dude,
least
speaking of abuse, like I'm going to now be telling my healers in my raid group that they need to rescue me during certain points in the
Titania.
fights. Yeah, like Titania, but I'll discuss that when we get there.
Okay, let me grab chat here real quick. Lower Track says, I'm a Dark Knight, do I count? And Omni says, I'm smoking soup out. Yeah, you were, because you keep coming near the camera. I keep having to move it. Lower Track also says, invite Pi, she'll have you covered. Pi was having trouble too, she did come with us.
Yeah, no,
The stream's looking good.
both Pi and I hated it at first. We both learned it now. I could go in there and black mage it, just as well as white maging, but it was very hard. Even Pi was like, please get me out of here at one point, and I was just like, yep, know how you feel.
Jonathan says, I'm not rescuing Philo unless it's into the AoEs.
What the fuck?
Omni also says, I'll rescue you, Philo, but only when I want.
Wow.
So I think that covers everything with Innocence, other than you. Last thing, I guess, is in Rage Time. Is it fair?
It is.
I thought it was pretty fair.
I think
It
it's
is.
pretty fair.
Incredibly fair. Like, I
It's so
cleared.
forgiving.
Yeah.
I think I was in a party with it was learning party. We cleared him the third pull. It was stupid. And it's really I was in Astro. I was wearing just AF gear. Everyone was wearing AF gear. It's very forgiving. And that's understandable since it's the first extreme, so they want everyone to have gear. They're really easy.
I have one little hope about the progression of EX primals over the course of the expansion. Because like we're all level 80 now. We're what 3 expansions past A Realm Reborn,
Yep.
and they do a pretty good job of like leveling out the difficulty curve for every beginning, like the beginning of Endgame and every expansion to be fairly similar. But I wouldn't mind, because I've been seeing this trend a little bit in the content from Shadowbringers. I wouldn't mind the content to start creeping on difficulty a little bit. Like, I'm not saying that I want it to be a get good or get out kind of game, but I would definitely like to see things become a lot more earned,
Yeah.
as opposed to just going through the motions.
Well,
I want Hades to be impossible.
That level 80 dungeon for MSQ, that holds people up. That's like very much a barrier gate of getting past something, because that last boss just annihilates people over and over.
Really?
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of
It
people
does,
having
yeah.
trouble with Amarant. It's mostly because
Yeah.
there's even the ads have special mechanics to them, because they, as a healer, the ads always fuck up the healer's heal potency, and if the healer doesn't know what the fuck that is, they're probably not going to heal the tank enough, especially on big pulls. And
like the death rate, it's not a one-hit thing. It's a continuous.
It's
damage.
a channeled ability.
yeah,
I actually don't have a problem with the last boss as a melee DPS. I mean, I'm able to get fairly greedy with even when he's about to jump forward, kind of like the steamroller from Alex.
yeah.
But like, I think the boss that gives me the most trouble is the first one, and that's only because
The
people just the meteors and like just all the AoEs, and sometimes you just got to drop uptime. It's always going to be my main concern. I've done the dungeon like 4 times now, because whenever I do expert, I just pray to God that I get the twinning so I can start headbanging.
Oh
But-
yeah,
I feel like I'm only just now starting to get used to it. I believe the biggest problem with expert roulette so far is that things take forever because people don't know that they should be AoEing trash mobs as often.
yeah. I've finally figured out a way to just spam AoEs during dungeons and big pulls. So
Yeah, there's after your first rotation, there's literally no reason not to just keep spamming your AoEs, since most of the AoEs now reset some sort of buff that you have on yourself. Like with
so
Warrior and Sam, they both redo my damage buff myself.
I feel like this expansion, we're getting off track, but we'll go back on in a second. This expansion has been a lot tougher than previous expansions. I do not remember Stormblood being this challenging. But
it wasn't.
I could also be because they've changed how the classes work, but because my class got a complete overhaul, it sucks. But
It's great.
shut your mouth. No. But I think this expansion introduced more mechanics. There's more stuff going on. There's a lot less forgiving areas, because I remember in Stormblood you used to be able to leave party members on the fucking floor if you really wanted to, but you can't do that here. So we got off track, but let's go back to where we were. Let's move to Titania. This one, I have some very strong opinions about this one as a healer, but that might just be me.
I think that's you. I think
think
it's
that's
just
you.
you.
It might-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's just Scholar being bad.
Basically.
Ooh,
Them
Oh.
fighting
spice is real.
I'm crying.
But
Live.
listen, it's alright too, because like in Titania too, like for Summoner, all my shit lines up really well with the fight. Like when the AoEs come out, I have Phoenix out at the same time most of the time. And like during the water puddle, which is the best phase for but black mages have their own way of movement, but summoners don't. So if you're a healer and you got your summoner like in the corner, if they're doing their rotation correctly, you can rescue them and you won't interrupt them from their corner. It'll help them out, because then they can keep casting their hard casts while keeping up uptime and being pulled to where they need to go.
That's just lazy.
I'm tilted.
Lazy.
That's called efficiency. Thank you.
No.
That's called being
No.
greedy.
It's greedy.
It really is.
And I
Efficiency-
still out DPS you on Black Mage with you
if
being
you're
that
not
Philo.
if you're not out DPSing me, there's something wrong here.
It's true. It's very true.
Like
But I
you
was just
have
like, okay, I thought you were gonna beat me when you started doing it. I was like, okay, all right, I gotta pick
have-
up my game now.
by natural ability, you have like a 15% margin over me. So
I would really love to get rid of some of that spell speed. It's really killing my numbers.
The mechanics in there, I thought they're not as forgiving as Innocence, are they?
No.
They are. They are
They
for white
are.
mage. If you have a white mage who's competent, you can fuck up a lot. I told you, I carried parties last night. It was easy.
We need to put a little asterisk in the corner of the stream. White mage does not follow Supa's opinions, and we don't have an Astro.
No.
We don't have an Astro correspondent here tonight, so.
Hey.
Well,
we do.
But
Hi is an Astro.
he hasn't been. Has he healed the Titania?
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I don't know that. Dumb.
With you, Supa. Holy cow.
Damn.
I think the anger got to him.
Yeah.
Angry.
My blood vessel just popped in my eye.
I was just going to
Basically.
say that.
Carlene
killed both of
says,
them.
today I had a paladin tank take down the first boss of Amarant with me backing him up as a DPS. What does that mean? Was everyone else on the floor, Carlene? And Omne says, white mage is the best DPS. We don't need to heal. I don't
I
believe.
mean, he's not wrong. Paladin's Requiescat is a lower DPS than white mage doing whatever, a flatus, whatever it's called or something.
A fallacious.
Just normal glare.
Or just normal glare. Like,
Yeah.
just like Paladin, go adjust and be a healer, please, for like the next 10 seconds.
So, the only phase I really had a lot of trouble with in Titania was the ad phase. Not the first half, the second half.
Oh, big ads?
Yeah, the big ads, because
Big ads are, yeah.
that phase is not fun to heal, especially if people get hurt or die, because then you're just running all over the platform trying to compensate.
Okay, Supa.
What?
When we're done here, you and I will go into Titania X, and I'll be a white mage.
I gotta
and
go
I will
to
show you.
I gotta log off after this, actually. Sorry.
Damn it! I will show you how easy it is one day.
So my troubles with that same phase, Supa, stem from a general mechanic of the fight, which is the vines. So I'm a melee DPS, and I'm going to be optimizing as best as I can, breaking my tether as quickly as possible so that I can get back to the fight. And I don't think other roles tend to take it as seriously about how to break their tether. And the distance you need to travel to break the tether is not based on just generally the distance between you two. It's how far you've moved since the tether spawned. And I've seen a lot of times over and over my partner, when it's the knockback part of the big phase, or if it's just in general any other part where there's a tether, if your partner doesn't take it as seriously, then sometimes it can kill you if they're really like lackadaisical. I've seen some potatoes in Party Finder.
I've noticed that as well, being a DPS, like, because I want to get it off me as soon as possible so I can get my dots back into order. But I'm over there like running around in the fucking nook of the corner, like get this off me. Fucking go to your goddamn corner and break it.
Carlene.
Well, I had a guy last night. Didn't understand that you have to sometimes move into that AoE and then move back out. He's like, I don't want to go into the AoE. I'm like, dude, you have to break the tether. You have to get as far as you can and then go back to safety. And it's you have time to do that. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, the tether mechanic didn't really bother me as a healer, and the only thing I was worried about is if a tether didn't break, because then I have to watch the people who the tether didn't break, because I need to keep them alive, or else we might not clear ad phase.
Also, not breaking your tether is really deadly. I think it ticks for like...
It's a lot. I need to like bust out the big heals to keep that person alive.
Yeah.
If it's a tank, it's not a huge deal. They'll survive. If it's a DPS, you finna die.
Depends. Last night, that same guy who would go into the AoE was usually tethered to a tank, and he would blow up Oop, I have a timer going up. He would blow up the tank every single time. They would both die.
God damn
Oof.
it.
The only other part of the fight that I really have an issue with, because I love Titania, I think it's a great fight. The only part about it that I hate is the randomness that gets called upon every now and then, particularly with her. What is it? The mechanic that can be in or out? Phantom something.
Phantom Rune.
Phantom
Yeah,
Rune.
Phantom Rune. So it annoys me because at least with Monk in 5.0, our opener is already clunky enough, and we're playing hot and fast with skill speed. But I hate that sometimes I either get to be lucky staying in, or I have to go out and basically either, risk it and try to greed the GCD while moving backwards, or just eat the whole GCD of downtime. It annoys me to no end because I can't just commit to muscle memory. I have to have 2 muscle memory profiles.
Yeah, that's the same way as with I think Imagine Caster, because I have to do it as summoner. It's like I have to be midway between both of them because I'm just sitting there turning, and it's like, well, I can sit here and cast, and if it's in, well, I just take a few steps in. Otherwise, I have to fucking pull back and run all the way to the goddamn corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny how they allowed you to kind of cheese the
Shiva.
the shock tether and the Shiva mechanic, because if you have a tank that's not a warrior, you can just invuln the shocks, and then if you have a scholar in the party, you can just straight up ignore the Shiva mechanic.
You don't even need this scholar.
Any healer can
No,
heal through.
Sorry,
You can just stand in the
sorry.
center, take the Vuln stack, and if your healer can't heal through the Vuln stack, then you've got issues.
I solo heal that part super, and we stack every single time. I told them 2 stack. Don't try and take it and run, because that means you get 2 stacks and then you're already dead. Just
Super's
stand
just
there.
getting the fucking razor blades out. He's like, let's go, dude.
I'm so sorry, Super.
Let's go across the street or down the street.
I don't have anything this expansion. I need to quit my job. No, I'm kidding.
Fucking rip.
Kai already
So was
quit
there-
his.
Was there actually no hype about Scholar in Endgame? Because I heard that Endgame Scholar is actually kind of good.
It's
No.
good. It's got its advantages, but the problem is it's just not fun to play.
It's really not.
Catalyze is great. Deployment tactics is still viable. Recitation is really overpowered if you use it right, and Seraph can completely trivialize certain heal checks if you use her right too. But that's the big kicker. It's just not fun to play Scholar anymore. Fey Blessing is really good too.
I wonder if Scholar Ast is still going to be the optimal DPS comp.
No, it's not.
I've
No.
been reading the
It's
Discord.
Ast White Mage.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they really don't like Scholar.
So White Mage makes up for the lack of chain.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Flatus Misery.
DPS is huge. Yeah.
And even if Aster has the 3-minute AoE balance, the cards are still better than
Divination.
spamming cards is still better. They really
Yeah.
need to make that thing
They
less.
do. They
They
do.
need to reduce that cooldown.
2 minutes or 90 seconds, seriously.
It's
'Cause-
it's fucking 3 minutes is just stupid. You're just sitting there with your cards already.
Well, I was running the numbers for White Mage DPS last night and hit Titania, and I'm parsing purple. I can almost pull 3k DPS if I'm not with a bad co-healer that just won't do anything. So their DPS is crazy,
So
especially with as much crit as I have.
I'm not parsing well in any of the EXs right now. I'm parsing between green and blue, but I'm not sure what else I can do is my big gripe, because I'm weaving OGCD heals. I'm not using my GCD heals like I'm supposed to. I'm spamming Broil and keeping Biolysis up, so I don't know if I'm playing my class wrong or I just suck at my class, so I don't know. Maybe I gotta get better.
Get good.
As good as I can be on this broken machine.
Because I've heard the same thing from other scholars though. They're just like, what else am I supposed to do? That was generally the conversation last night in FC chat about scholars. I'm doing everything I can and I'm bored and I feel very ineffective to my party unless somebody needs needs a really big heal or something.
Do you guys remember like 2 days ago when I got really angry and looked up the like top parsing people on FF logs for Scholar, and it was just
Yes.
giant. It was just giant padded parses from dancers and stuff. 100% was getting buffed by the dancer and had like Trick or something in the party.
Lol.
They're all like that. I was looking at the dancer parses, and they had like another dancer buff, all the cards, Dragoon Tether, and I'm like, oh, that's just like not realistic.
You know, I think I'm not a healer main by any means. I only have them all at 70 because I wanted the achievements. But I've heard about some of the plights that Astro and Scholar have. You know, Scholar, what do I do with all these Aether Flows? I can't hold all these Aether Flows. And Astro's just sitting there like, well, I have 3 minutes until Divination. I don't know what to do with all these seals. I think it would be really cool if, A, they gave Scholar Energy Drain back, but just make it a DPS instead. Don't make it give you MP. Because they took Energy Drain away, right?
Yeah, it's gone.
And then Astro, if they really insist on not nerfing or buffing the cooldown for Divination, why don't you just let Astro spend seals on like nukes?
On like a DPS move. That would be amazing. Because then you're just not holding your
You would
seals
close the
until-
gap on the other
until
healer
Divination.
mage.
completely, yeah.
The way White Mage just shadows over DPS from the other two healers, that would definitely help close the gap. I don't know how much, but it would help.
Here's Scholar's big issue and what I think it needs right now. The Aether Flow thing, I figured out finally how to fucking expend my Aether Flows correctly in big dungeon pulls. But in fights, like long fights, I've found that sometimes I don't need to use all my Aether Flow stacks, and I'm just sitting there doing nothing. But in big pulls, yeah, because Dissipation is viable now, so that's a thing I can do. But we definitely need an offensive way to expend Aether Flow, because just not using my stacks is obnoxious, and I'm not gonna not hit Aether Flow when it's off cooldown because it's free 1k MP. I'm not gonna throw that in the garbage. And then I need, I guess, I need like Bane back or something. Bane, Energy Drain, and then I guess you could maybe give me a second dot. Fuck it, just give me another dot.
I'm really questioning if they actually trial ran some of the stuff, like extensively, because it really feels like
They
half done.
The big thing is, like they said, you're supposed to be focusing more on healing this expansion with the healers, but I've literally found a way today that I just can spam Art of War and Experts Dungeons, so that's big fuck you.
Like with good gear, I don't have to heal that much. Like I just throw some shields and that's it. Like I'm just sitting there with doing nothing.
They've made it so boring. Even White Mage to a certain degree can get monotonous, but I tried Scholar in a roulette yesterday. I couldn't. I just flipped automatically when I came back. I was like, what was that? No. I can totally understand why he's complaining. I just, all I did was stand there.
I mean, I guess I could use repos if I really get bored, but chances of that working are like 100 to none.
Well, yeah, because people are spamming AoE, or they have a sort of AoE in their rotation, or what else are you supposed to do?
Scream into the void that once was my class.
LOL. I think the big issue was that, because the Japanese developers have this thing where they want you to play the game that they set. They want you to play the game their way. It's not like American developers where, it's more of a sandbox kind of thing where here's the tools we give you, go fucking buck wild. The Japanese developers are more like, here are the tools we give you, now play the way that we intend you to play. And I think the player base tends to be like, fuck that, we're going to do it our way, and our way is better, but you need to adjust it to our way.
I definitely agree with that, because, for example, I know for a fact Square Enix has a QA team doing this shit. Who else is like Blue Fever? They're getting their leaks somewhere. But that aside, Like they have a QA team, and I'm fairly certain QA teams are probably discouraged or straight up not allowed to use tools like ACT. So they're not getting a mathematical analysis about this. If you think about it, anyone who's an old hat like me, and I say old hat with some air quotes because I haven't been around since the Realm Reborn, but if you remember Midas back when Savage came out, and a lot of the community raised questions about how do you guys test this? Do you even clear the raids yourself? And they say, not really, no. We just do a phase of it and say if it's possible, then it's doable and we'll ship it.
I remember that.
So,
it was like, we want people to be performing at around 70 to 80% efficiency to be able to clear a raid out of 100%. And then, like, they'll say, some parties are doing 105%, so I don't know how the fuck they're measuring this.
They have a bunch of things that they just don't plan for. Like, I don't know if anyone here is aware of how the monk opener goes now, but they gave us this fancy new ability in Shadowbringers called the Knotman, which is basically a meditate to maintain Grease Lightning and your current martial art form when there's downtime, which is great. But the big math heads over at the Balance decided or found out that actually it's optimal DPS that you do a demolish in your opener to get 1 stack of Grease Lightning, then you go into a Knotman and let it tick you just stand there doing nothing until you gen a 2nd stack for free. It's literally flamethrower opener from 4.0 Machinist again.
Yeah, the similar thing is with Summoner, except it's more of a negative direction. The Eggy Assaults that they introduced for us, as well as the whatchamacallit, the Demi summons, they work opposed to each other, because when you have Phoenix or Bahamut out, you can't use your assaults. So the assaults are there charging, and you can't use them. And if you try to use them before, like if you try to go down to 0, so you have 0 charges when you go into the demis, the issue is that you lose DPS. So either way, you're losing DPS.
It's exactly the same with Seraph, only that if you use any of Seraph's abilities sub 2 seconds, she'll just eat all your inputs, which is retarded. I'm sorry, that really makes me mad. My inputs are being eaten.
So I think a lot of what happens with job design in this game is, in theory that works really well. And what they do is they probably don't say it. They probably rely on the community to do all of this analysis, and then they use the analysis as kind of like a catalyst to do their own research, and then they'll probably see what's happening, and if the community is making enough noise, they'll address it.
Small indie dev team.
Small indie company, by the way.
Let me grab chat real quick here. Lord Trek says JRPGs focus more on telling a linear story like a book, while WRPGs focus on giving players tools to make their own story. John says, I don't think they account for healer DPS when making those numbers. They used to not do that back in Heavensward, but as of Stormblood, like midway through Stormblood, they started accounting for healer DPS and checks.
Are you sure now? Because now they're saying you're supposed to heal more in dungeons.
I don't know if they stopped doing it. I haven't seen any information to the contrary, but I think it'd be pretty dumb of them to say, okay, we're going to start accounting for healer DPS because healers really want a DPS, and then say we're going to make them focus more on healing. We're still going to give them DPS tools, but we're not going to account for healer DPS anymore. That doesn't make sense to me at all, because then you're just making the fights easier, and the balanced Discord will figure it out. They always do, as toxic as they are.
The other thing, when they do and I think I remember hearing about it or reading about it somewhere, the way that they do the testing is that they don't actually play the game. They run bot simulations. So if the numbers add up, then it's fine, kind of thing. And correct me if I'm wrong, Zeke, but like I imagine that when they do a bot simulation, it's not, we're seeing like a screen of what's going on. What they're just going to be seeing is just numbers on a screen, not the actual gameplay of it or anything.
It can go either way. For a game, they can probably see it, but honestly, it just depends on how they do it.
Yeah, I imagine because it's more efficient, they would just have the numbers show up on the screen. It's like, okay, those numbers look good, so.
They also
like who's going to watch like 40 minutes of gameplay of bots running through a dungeon?
They also
Multiple
said
with each class.
The poor sucker who has to design the AI for trusts.
LOL.
They also said, the first Eden Savage tier is going to be like easy because we're all learning our classes again. So I don't know, maybe tomorrow, Tuesday I'll wake up and there's a big balance patch and maybe I'll get energy drain and Bane back, but Oh, things aren't looking too good for old Scholar here.
If I don't get my monthly summoner buffs, I'm gonna be butthurt.
So back to Titania. Wow.
Can I have quad? Can I have quad cast Super for Black Mage?
In 6.0.
Oh, okay.
I think we just about covered everything with Titania, except we didn't cover range DPS in there.
Oh,
How's
It's easy. It's done.
It's really easy. Like Astrid was saying before, like as long as you understand what the patterns are, it's literally muscle memory, except for maybe two variables.
yeah,
That's
the
it.
in and the the second water puddles that RNG in or out. That is where people get fucked with the whole muscle memory thing, because it fucked me last night. I was like, oh, I completely misread that. I went in and it was out. Oops.
I think the only thing that's like kind of difficult if you're range is you'll always get the. I mean, you're always gonna have to do the lightning tether, but still, it's only like
Considering-
if you forget, you're gonna die.
Considering you don't have cast bars anymore, I think that the ranged have the best of both worlds, literally.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Paldor. How's tanking in there?
Pretty simple, to be honest. Just
Caldor,
two
Hulk.
Yeah. Besides
It looks
the
kinda
spawn
boring.
phase.
The triple
yeah,
tank
it's
buster.
Yeah. Besides that point, it's pretty boring, simple. Just kind of stand there, do your rotations forever and ever until it's dead.
Let's pour one out for all the tanks that forget to repoint Titania north and cleave the entire raid.
I'm triggered.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only complaint I have with Titania is that I can't freaking see when the 3 big ads are up.
Oh,
That's-
I hate
that's
that.
That's it.
Puck always covers the entire screen.
That's
Even
like
on healer, it's like, where? Get your arm out of my face, man.
I can't see. Congrats on clearing Titania, Omne. Omne just cleared while they were listening to us.
Nice. Nice.
Very good. Congratulations.
I think we covered both the fights pretty well. The mechanics in Titania I thought were a little more fun than Innocence, but that's just me.
I feel like
I enjoy that
Titania
play a
is
lot.
way more fun than
Yeah.
Innocence. Like,
Mhm.
just the music, the scenery, just the things you have to do. The other one's
I
just
don't-
dodge AoEs.
I like that though, to be honest.
In a good group, Titania is just stress free.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm-
like,
I'm really super glad that I ninja'd the fucking mount on like my second clear, because now I don't have to go back.
LOL.
Nice.
I haven't seen any of the mountain drops yet.
I rolled a 1 on the mount I saw, and then a 5.
Can we get some F's in the chat for this man right here?
Please, can we get F's in
No.
chat?
Wait, they drop mounts?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
mhm.
Zinvo's like, wait, you guys are getting paid?
Well, yeah. What the fuck?
And you're,
I asked the question before. I'm like, do they drop mounts? Oh no, they don't.
Yeah,
Like,
they do. They drop.
Yeah, they
they,
do. Oh shit.
they drop dragons.
Yeah.
Zinvo, if you go to my stream, I'll sit on mine for a second to show you.
Okay, give me 1 minute.
They're like little weird dragons.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
fucking ugly.
Yeah.
I really want to know what the big, like the Chungus dragon at the end of the expansion is gonna look
Exactly.
like.
I
Imagine
hope
how that's gonna look.
it's like the dragon that Ranjit has.
No.
No, we already have
That's-
that.
Yeah.
You have the fucking the mount from 04.
Yeah, we have alt-right.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
The alt
I don't
right.
know.
The alt right.
The alt-right.
Mm.
We ride the alt-right.
Maybe it's just
so.
gonna be an ugly. Maybe it's gonna be those gliders we see throughout the zones. Just
I
a bigger
haven't
version.
seen one. Yeah, I haven't seen one yet. I've seen people win them, but I haven't seen one in use.
Here you go. I'll just put a screenshot in chat for you,
Got
Zinvo. You don't have to do nothing.
That thing looks
Okay,
like
thanks.
Down syndromes.
It's like it's got like a hunchback. It's weird.
Isn't it just a retexture of the Midgarsamore mount that we get?
I don't know.
No, that's not. That's definitely not.
No.
There you go, Zinvo.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that's so weird.
That's the Innocence mount.
I want to see this now.
The one from Titania. The one from Titania is that, but it's Wildberry Pop-Tart flavored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
like
be
the
okay
Titania one
with
more.
that. I would be okay with that because that looks funny.
They
It
have a
looks
really
kinda-
weird face.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of looks like a velociraptor with wings.
Kind of, yeah.
It looks cool.
It looks like my row will crush it.
Yeah, you look like you look huge riding that thing.
It doesn't.
Oh my
It's not
God.
different size depending on race.
Oh, it probably is, but
It probably scales a little bit, but yeah, it looks like you might crush it even if it does.
It's more
Oh,
majestic
no.
in flight, I assure you.
Okay, good, because that thing scares me.
Yes, Wildberry Pop-Tart, bad.
So, for the last, like, probably 10, 15 minutes, I just wanted to talk about our experiences, our religious experiences we've had in the Party Finder trying to clear these.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
Don't get me
Fucking-
started on the people who don't know how to do the fucking lightning tether. And they go until the last second, and then they say, okay, fine, I'll go grab the tether. And they grab the tether, and then they take it to who the fuck knows where, and cleave like 6 of the party members. I'm like, well, okay, that was fun while it lasted, I guess.
It gets sticky. Like, I can be standing right in front of someone. I can be standing where I'm supposed to be standing to pick up the tether, and it just won't give it to me.
The biggest issue I've run into is that people don't understand that whoever is supposed to be picking up the tether first gets priority on being close to the boss. I've seen people being like a white mage who says, I'm going to go under the boss to cast Medica or something so that I can, I don't know, touch everybody. I don't know. Cool. But you're inadvertently causing a wipe.
The range on it is so much. Why would you? I don't know.
I'm making up excuses. They were under the boss.
That confuses me. You shouldn't be under the boss. They were just badly positioned. If anything, like I back up so I can see where the hell I am. I can see my number. I can see where the tether is. And if it's in the middle of the group, I'm running the fuck away.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I always go south for that mechanic. Always. Even if I am a tether holder. I just need to be able to see myself.
My favorite are the parties who argue about which video to use for strats.
Oh my god. I went in the party finder, right? And some dude was like, oh, DPS go north now. It's the new strat. I'm like, bruh.
what?
For what fight?
For Titania, like DPS go north with tethers because
What?
it's like uptime for the big ads.
What are you talking?
I mean,
I'm
it
confused.
What?
is.
No.
I've thought about that, but it just
It is,
confuses
but
everyone.
like you cannot expect much out of party finder people is the problem. And now you're
Yeah.
asking them to optimize?
Yeah, no. Let's not.
Just-
Let's just keep it simplified for the
That doesn't
slower
even make.
people.
That doesn't.
Just attack the one on the left.
Yeah,
and
I was gonna
see
say you
come
can just
back.
attack the one on the left, can't you? It's if you get pushed
Yes.
over there.
Yeah, you can refocus because once the tanks grab them, what does it matter?
I don't know, man. Just the shit like there needs to be a Twitter like shit you hear in party finder.
There is a
And
Twitter.
See, as a black mage, you understand that because you have to keep uptime for Enochian. So if I have to retarget and they see that the little mushroom tree is about to die or is about 30%, I'll stop attacking it and switch.
There is.
If you guys can't kill it by then, A, what the hell, and B, I'm concerned.
What were you saying, Supa? I need to hear this.
There is a Twitter account that does record crummy stuff that people say on the official forums and on the official subreddit. It just finds. It just finds.
Is it
posts.
anything like toilets of Final Fantasy 14?
It's kind of
Oh,
like
fucking
that.
toilet.
It uploads.
That damn toilet.
But the
Fucking toilet.
it
were everywhere.
uploads tweets every 6 hours and it's on a schedule. So I get one at midnight, 6 a.m., noon.
What's the Twitter handle? Do you know?
Let me.
It's forums.txt. I think.
Yeah, FF14 forums.txt, I think it is. But it's kind of funny. You get some funny ones in there, and there was one the other day that said, "I don't believe that genocide is bad." I was like, "Oh no, where's this thread?" My favorite one I've seen so far was one that said, "You're." How does it feel that your husband won't touch you? And I was like, what is this?
What?
I went deep and I found the original thread, and it was this dude who was posting on this woman's Reddit thread that she made of her Final Fantasy 14 ring, and he had made like this giant comment chain calling her figures chubby and she must be fat in real life. And I was like, what is this? This is like, we're like in the deep web now. Where am I? It was really funny. But anyway.
Is it like that short guy in the donut shop?
It was exactly like that in the bagel shop.
Oh, was it a bagel shop?
It was a
Okay.
bagel shop.
Bagel
that
shop,
he was
okay.
just mad and screaming about how women lie on their dating
Screaming,
profiles.
Just like, oh my goodness. But then I said the kicker, and I'm only 4'10", and I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't date him either.
Modern day dwarf loses his temper live in bagel shop.
God damn it.
Cannot show his face anymore due to being outed on the internet.
Oh
So
my
he
God.
wears the helm everywhere now.
Does he have an angry hat, Supa?
Yes, Omni says bagel shop guy is a real live potato.
Oh no.
Any other fun stories you guys got out of PF?
Nah, nothing yet.
I have
Knock
been
wood.
seeing a few parties that don't allow scholars, though. I'll put that in there.
Wow.
I'm like,
I
Wow.
saw a party that required a scholar.
good.
I've seen no double white mage, and I'm just like, what? Okay.
Yeah, I'm
I-
Seen...
I'm confused
I
as
get
to
double white mage. When I don't specify, I usually get double white mage.
Well, I'm just like, our DPS is better than the other two. Why wouldn't you want double? Well, and the margin of error with double white mage is so much higher. So because we can just instantly heal everybody.
I have to say, everyone from Brynhilder sucked.
Ah!
They're
Oh my
all
god,
terrible.
yes.
why did
Oh my
everybody
God,
why did
yes.
everyone from Brynhilder just come to my stream and tell us to stop?
They are all of them. Like, I haven't met a single one of them that's good.
Brynhilder is the only preferred server on Crystal right now, I believe.
I think so. They're all terrible.
They are.
God damn, Kai.
That was
It's-
where my tank was from experts this morning, and I was just like, oh fuck, I'm gonna be working today.
It's like before when we were in Ether and it was someone from Goblin, and you're like, oh fuck, it's Goblin. But
Well,
now
yeah,
it's
and-
Brynhilder.
And you know what,
Even
Kai?
they even beat Goblin.
I prefer people from Balmung in my party because
Yeah.
at least I know how they play. They can at least play their character and RP at the same time. I'm just like, you do you, but at least keep your DPS going.
Is anybody else really surprised that the strip club in Yulmore is not more popular of a place?
It is on Balmung.
It is on Balmung.
I mean, that's granted, but
I haven't been to Balmung yet. How popular
I
is it?
haven't been to Balmung yet either.
I haven't either.
I went and checked in the
I
early.
don't have enough holy water.
I went and checked in the. I went and checked in the early morning hours one day, back when the expansion first launched, because I didn't want to get stuck over on Balmung, because there's like queues to log in and everything. But
Yeah.
I went in there and there were at least like 15, 20 people hanging out in there, and I was like, oh no.
Kai and I went in there last night, and I don't know if they changed the dancers up every once in a while. Like, I know the dancers go away, but they all had like bone masks on and doing striptease, and we're both like, this is kind of scary.
I mean,
I do love that place, honestly.
oh no. Jonathan.
Oh, they fixed the seats in there, by the way, Supa. You can sit on. 2 people can sit on the chair now.
Oh, nice. Jonathan says Brynhilder tanks are the worst.
They
Anyone.
are. They are.
This is a call-out post for Brynhilder. Stop being bad.
At
Wow.
at Kai on Twitter. Don't at me for that one.
LOL.
don't at me, bruh.
Don't. Yeah, I don't have any more fun PF stories, I don't think, because I did most of my clears with you guys and that samurai, and I did have a very moody tank one day, the one that kept doing the the thinking emo every time we would screw up mechanics in
That
our learning
fucking
party.
tank, yeah.
Oh my god. He's so passive aggressive. I want to slap him. Ugh.
Every time someone died, he'd use the thinking emoji. Every time.
Ugh.
That's some passive aggression right there.
Just judgy much? Damn.
I mean, are we ones to talk though? We've been talking shit for like half this stream. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
but we're not. But we're doing it after the fact. We're not doing it
Yeah.
during the fight.
Well, or even if we do during the fight, we do it in a link show where no one can see.
And we try to be nice about it. We do. I think Crystal might have a little more impairments to it right now than Aether, but
Impairments? Is that what are we saying? We're disabled?
Are these alternative facts, Supa?
These are facts. We don't have the kind of rating community Aether does. But I think that's it. You guys have anything you want to throw in here before we call it? Because we're at an hour and 10 minutes, so we're a little over, but that's fine. Filled the whole thing.
The extremes are really easy.
As much
That's all I have
as
to
shit,
say.
as much shit as we've all been talking, if you're like one of those people who is afraid to try out this stuff, don't be, because like people like Astrid, I don't even know you, but you're already talking about how many times you're helping people learn. There are people out there who like to help you learn,
Yeah,
and they also might be high level players, so don't feel afraid to actually get out and try it.
We've been getting a lot
if
of.
you need help, if you need help and I'm not doing anything, hit me up. I'll help you. And if you die a million times, it's not a big deal, you know.
It's just a
I
game,
don't
Pod.
care. Exactly. If you die and you're on the floor and you feel horrible about yourself and you're like, I want to quit this game. No, don't. You will eventually learn it. I've laid on the floor plenty as Black Mage. I understand.
Yeah, it's just a game until you enter my fucking farm party and you're like, I've cleared this 7 times. And you
Oh my god.
mechanic.
Those are the
Just don't
worst.
die, Forehead.
I forgot what I was gonna say. In the FC, I've been seeing a lot of just random members just clearing here and there. Like
Yeah, a lot of people in Honor have been clearing it.
Yeah, Honor's been clearing just fine. So sweet.
I don't know if we're the benchmark for Aether though. I mean, not Aether,
What?
Crystal.
No.
And
Clearly
our
they need
little
to up the-
project.
If
Oh, go ahead.
That was it. Sorry.
if I had to gauge the FC's like skill level, I would put it above average, but that's above average of everyone around us. So by Aether standards, that's probably pretty normal. But so we'll see how this plays out in Eden. So,
There's one thing I want to talk about since we're talking about people new who are joining. Like if you're new joining, that's great. If you've cleared the fight as say a healer and then you go in on like say a caster and this is your first time, consider yourself not ready for farm, even though you cleared on another job. Because I had some fucker on red mage who cleared it on white mage, comes in as red mage, can't do a single goddamn mechanic. We fail like 4 fucking times. We finally managed to clear it carrying their dead ass, and they get all the fucking caster accessories, and I'm still fucking butthurt about that. I have them on my blacklist, so if I ever come across them, I'm gonna have some choice words with them.
oh no.
Triggered.
Well, and I think our little project with the more I wouldn't say, I mean, our base group, the play level is a little bit higher than the moderate group, but now that the base group knows what to do, we can just go in there and help people clear, day one. Like, okay, we're gonna do this for an hour, maybe 2, and if we get it, we get it. If we don't, we'll try again.
Yeah, that's what we're doing for advanced nights, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure that people get their clears, and if we can keep clearing it over and over again, great. But if it takes us all night to get one clear, no biggie. That's what that night's for, is to learn.
We'll get it. Unless we just there is one caveat we probably want to add into that, and that's if we just don't have the numbers, that's a different problem entirely.
Yes. No, but if you're genuinely wanting to learn harder content and want to improve your skill level, that's why we picked that. Made that suggestion of, why don't we have an advanced night for those people who actually want to begin with that end content, because there are a lot of new people who've just migrated from other MMOs to ours for this expansion that are like, okay, I'm ready for endgame. What the hell do I do?
Something that I feel bears not discussion but mention is if you're new to endgame content and you don't have like a full understanding of how your job works, I think the first thing you should do before you approach endgame content is to learn the inner workings of your job and by extension your rotation. There's nothing worse than learning something and then learning it wrong and then going back and trying to correct it.
Yeah, and
Yep.
don't be afraid to ask in FC, hey guys, I just want to make sure I'm doing this right, or is there a more optimized way I can be doing this so I can get to where I want to be?
Nenoro was asking about Scholar this morning, and I think we talked about it for a solid 2 hours. Just, they were like, I don't know how to play this class, and I was like, come here. I'll teach you some things.
I'll teach you how to cry like a real man.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello.
They're like,
You know, we have some new summoners in the FC, which I'm really surprised about. They're all hyped for it.
Yeah, no, they were so excited.
Oh,
I
no.
was surprised too.
oh no, Philo has students, we're screwed.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking great. We're all gonna be all
Teach them
parsing the black
all.
mages.
He's gonna teach them all about the rescue trick.
It's gonna be fucking great.
I mean, to be honest, in Titania, if you need rescue, you've already fucked up.
That's a DPS game for summoner.
Well, what I mean, like, if you need for Hysteria, you already fucked
Oh
up.
yeah.
I've,
You've saved some people
I've,
with that.
I've saved a couple people who get hit
Their
by
blood
the
is not
hysteria.
strong. They won't survive the winter.
Yeah, I've saved I think like 2 people because they get hit by the hysteria, and I'm like, okay, come back here, please don't run off the edge. The quickest save in the world. Fun fact, you can I already tried it and it still works. If you hit your auto walk key before you're hit by hysteria, you'll just walk. You won't run off.
That's a good trick.
I just have this like image in my head now of people who are trying to die with hysteria, and they're like, "I'm going to commit suicide."
No,
Oh my god.
no.
Oh my god. Please stop. You're hurting me.
I'm just imagining people trying to do the whole walking thing, but they're still too close to the edge, and they just role play like kill themselves. Like they just RP walk
No.
right off the edge.
No, they use Paldor's macro.
It's been a solid 7-8 years since I've seen an RP suicide in character and graphics. So that's
Oh.
Let's keep that chain going.
1.0 was a magical time of my life.
Yes, that macro. Yes.
What the hell?
I love that macro.
Amne says, this is the first expansion I've been caught up and not behind, and this FC has been super helpful to me. Thanks. And then
Good. We try really hard.
Amna
We really
Curse
do.
Amnaker says, in all frog suit raid, do they commit suicide with a K?
I
Oh
hate
my
that.
god! Oh my god!
I don't know
That
who
is
said
a
that,
good-
but I hate you.
No, I found that party finder, remember Kai? Where it said, frog suits only, must be all different colors, must have comms, and must speak in Kermit voice the entire time.
Oh my god.
Hey guys, it's time for my reprisal.
Oh my god.
Amne says, I'm moist now.
Oh, that was the other
God.
thing I saw in Party Finder. There's been a lot of tags of no drunks. So
Oh yeah,
they're taking our fun away now.
I've been seeing that. There's a lot of I don't know if it's because we got WoW people now, but there's a lot of people going to PF drunk, and I don't know why they're doing it.
Also,
Nice.
drunk and high. I've had a few people who are like, yeah, I'm kind of high at the moment.
Like, why? I'm trying to clear.
Like it was a dark night. Actually, I think some of you were there. His name, I forgot his name, but he was high. He was smoking weed, and he was like, I'm a little high, and he was. I was like, I was expecting like either this guy's gonna be a complete like hyper focused and fail nothing, or he's going to shit all over everything, and he shat all over everything.
Fucking amateurs. The amateurs, man.
I think Paldor, you, Ophi, I think Zeeg's done it a couple times. Are the only ones I know that can be like intoxicated on something and still play a game just fine, or better in Ophi's case.
And me, I play better
I said,
I'm fucking drunk.
Yeah, I said you.
I'm going to
Excuse
make
me.
a drunk-only party finder.
Zinvo, you had a McDonald's cup and you said you were going to the bathroom one night and then you just didn't come back. You never came back.
Excuse me. I can run Stone Vigil 20 times drunk just fine.
But
Thank
Oh
you.
my God.
You didn't come
my
back.
God.
You didn't come back that night. You're like, I'm going to the bathroom, and then you just stayed on comms but never came back. We thought you were dead.
Well, and then there was stairs involved, and we're like, did you get on the stairs? What's happening? I didn't hear any loud noises or screaming.
Y'all are whack.
Yeah. That was
That's
an
dangerous.
interesting night.
Alright, I think I've dragged on the fun long enough for the
You've drugged.
podcast.
Oh,
I
we drugged
it.
it.
Yeah, I drugged it. I think that's gonna conclude this episode. We've kind of went over everything. You guys, last second thoughts, anyone?
Nah.
Summoner best class.
Shit's fun, man.
Shadowbringers is an amazing expansion so far. And next week we'll be talking about Eden. That's gonna be a fun discussion.
Star is dead.
Yay!
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that and continue on.
LOL.
White Mage's best healer? No.
Damn.
Oof.
Tanks need to be more engaging.
Oh yeah, they do.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Get off
Paladin is
dancer.
bored.
There's too many of us.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Oh,
there needs to be
Yeah,
less
there
dancers.
are way too many dancers.
We can't all buff each other. That's not how this works. That's not utility. That's repetitive. All right. Signing off. We'll see you guys next week.
Later.
Bye.
Late.